Hit it. Welcome. You are listening to Panties and Sports. The preseason drama is getting interesting thanks to Shedeur Sanders. That's right, put an S on his chest with his good performance and the Micah Parsons of the Cowboys abandoning the trade. I mean, it's just all intriguing. I'm Spitface. Please welcome our host, the First Lady of Sports Talk, and she's trying to stay cool, Cheryl Smith.
You're right about that. Good morning, everyone. It is hot up in here. That is the truth.
Yeah, First Lady, when it's hot, it's sunny, the beaches look good. But if you've ever been out on 100-degree day at the beach, the sand will roast your little tootsie. So for you folks who are out there enjoying the water, hey, you better put on some slippers, because that sand will eat your little butt up. All right, First Lady, this week on Shout Out, we have performances from Derange, the Messiah. Will he find his shining star, get the cold fields and mute button? First Lady, we're ready. What you saying?
Each week, we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdie known as Shedeur Sanders flapped his wings, showed up, and showed out during the Cleveland Browns' first preseason game. Shedeur played like someone who had something to prove, and NFL fans around the league were pleasantly surprised, including some fans in Cleveland. LeBron James was seen at the game cheering Shedeur. After his performance, the depth chart was not changed. Shedeur still holds the number 4 spot for the quarterback. Coach Stefanski has not been willing to discuss how reps would be divided this week. Is it becoming clear that Shedeur is a trade bait because the Browns want Dylan Gabriel to be their future franchise quarterback? George Foreman, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, both rest in peace. Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? Yeah, Spitface, Shedeur definitely showed out during his preseason game. He has that it factor. That's why many celebrities went to the preseason game. I mean, besides LeBron, Charles Barkley, Jamie Foxx, Richard Sherman, and Michael Irvin were in attendance to watch Shedeur. He is so popular. 2.237 million viewers watched the game, his first preseason game. Per the NFL, this was the NFL Network's most watched preseason game since 2015. The league also noted it was NFL Network's most watched first week of preseason ever. So, I mean, that just shows you the it factor that Shedeur Sanders has. I mean, he gets a lot of people interested, and he has that it factor. You can't say anything negative about that. He can pull in the crowd. Now, what did he do during the game? Well, he did a lot. He completed 14 out of 23 passes for 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 0 interceptions, and he had a 113.9 passer rating. I mean, he looked like an experienced quarterback versus a rookie. And the thing after the game, Stefanski was pleased with Shedeur's performance, mentioning that his consistency is one of his strengths. And, of course, he mentioned that he had to work on some stuff. He needed to clean some stuff up. But he was overall pleased with his preseason game. Now, the thing, as you noted, and we said in the preview here, Stefanski didn't want to talk about the quarterback depth chart after the preseason game. Obviously, they didn't even talk about Shador is still going to be number 4 on the depth chart. Stefanski clearly sees Dylan Gabriel as their quarterback of the future. And the sad thing about it that really took Stefanski off the hook was that it was reported on Wednesday morning that Sanders suffered an oblique injury during throwing drills in the joint practice with the Eagles. He's considered day-to-day, but obviously due to this injury, Stefanski doesn't have to receive the pressure that he would have had if Shador wasn't injured, because it was clear that people want him to be further up on the depth chart. But Stefanski obviously is not willing to do that, and now he's off the hook. He doesn't have to really worry about that with Shador being injured. Now, Dylan Gabriel, he had a hamstring injury. Supposedly he's feeling much better. The question is, can he get the start? Or is it Flacco, who is still number 1 on the depth chart? Will he get the start against the Eagles? Because this is preseason game 2. And normally in preseason game 2, most of the teams give their starters significant playing time during this game. And so it'll be interesting. I have a feeling that it's going to be split between Flacco and Gabriel, Dylan Gabriel, if he's okay to go, and I think he may be. And of course, they got the 5th person on their quarterback depth chart, and that's Tyler Huntley. I mean, I could see him probably starting the 3rd preseason game, but I really think it's going to be Flacco and Gabriel, because I still think Kenny Pickett might still be injured with his hamstring. I mean, they got so many damn quarterbacks, it's ridiculous. You have so many quarterbacks. I guess they hired Tyler Huntley because of the fact that the other Pickett and Dylan were out with their injury, so that's why they added Tyler Huntley to the mix. But anyway, we shall see. But there still is a lot of noise. Sanders has caused so much noise because of his great play during the preseason. And, considering this Spitface, he had good play with limited reps during training camp. Remember, he wasn't even really catching any reps. I think one week we reported that he was throwing to the coaches as getting reps. So that just shows you that this kid can really play well. He's a good quarterback, and it's a shame how the Browns treated him, really, to be honest with you. It's a shame how the entire NFL treated him. I mean, they just what do you call it? They just,
I thought you were looking for the word blasphemous.
Yeah, they didn't treat Shador right. And, now there's a lot of noise too, because there's like conspiracy theories out there. They're saying that Shador's injury was made up by the Browns, so they didn't have to move him up the depth chart. That's what I just heard that report. One of the Cleveland Browns reporter is reporting that there's a conspiracy theories out there. So the Browns have a conundrum, to be honest with you, when it comes to Shador Sanders, because if the quarterbacks ahead of him do not perform well, the question is, was Stefanski consider playing Sanders when we all know that was not his man? He didn't want Shador on the team. So that's a big conundrum for Stefanski, really, and the Browns in general. So we'll see how this is going to play out, but hopefully Sanders will get better. All right, Spitface, what's your take on this situation?
First Lady, I am glad the young man showed that he belongs in the NFL. For one, I'll say that I won't say he played like a man on fire, because it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. Like, this is my only chance. Because and I think a lot of that was, we just don't know the level of professionalism his father instilled in him. We really don't, we don't know, maybe there'll be a movie and we'll get some insights. But, I think the man's father, really worked with him on being a professional player. So, there was a certain calmness. Like I said, I want to say, that's why I can't say the man on fire, because there was a certain level of confidence, and which I think allowed him to, pressure is something, is an experience we make up. It's an interpretation. What one person calls pressure, the other person gets excited. Wow, I'm ready to go and do that. While someone else, the same set of circumstances and facts, their experience is, so I want to, so there's that part. I think his father instilled, what being a professional is in the NFL. And, he's young and all that other stuff. The other part is that, First Lady, we're talking about the Cleveland Browns, right? We are talking about the Cleveland Browns. And you ever heard of Bernie Kosar?
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember that guy, Bernie Kosar, as, they have never got quarterback right after Bernie Kosar. And that's the last time this team has made the right moves with a quarterback, was when they had Bernie Kosar. And I'm saying that to partially say they're going to screw this up. They are. They are going to screw this up. Whatever way that they can mess this up, they are going to do it. And I say that the best thing that happens to Shedeur Sanders is being traded. And the Cleveland Browns will find a way to mess this up, and they're going to trade Shedeur Sanders. And because they have to have a mess at quarterback. They cannot have Shedeur Sanders on the team, because he might actually start at some point, and they might start actually winning. And, heaven help them, they have a quarterback they actually start winning with. We are talking about the Cleveland Browns, because there's this guy that's playing in Tampa Bay who the only thing he did was give them winning season and head them into a direction where they were competitive. That was his only mistake. Was not being a loser. He had his quote limitations. He had his physical strengths and weaknesses, and he won winning records. So Cleveland couldn't tolerate that. Not the Browns. What a winning quarter. We need to make some smart decision and bring in. Let's bring in this guy from Houston who has all these issues with women and accusations and questions about his character. Let's bring this guy in, because we see what the talent, the this and that, and screw the guy who has done nothing since Bernie Kosar was our quarterback. That most of the people out there that are hearing this are probably going, they got to Google who the hell was Bernie Kosar. They got to Google it to see when the last time the Browns had a quarterback where they did not mess it up. So And there are probably some Cleveland Brown fans who go, they mess Bernie Kosar up too. They probably are okay, but I'm trying to give them, like a baseline, something. But the Cleveland Browns are going to mess this situation up. One, now, the NFL, there is, one day we will find out what the real deal, and I mean the real deal, not the conspiracy deal, not the opinion deal, what went on that he almost went undrafted. What went on? What happened? Because something happened. Something happened. And there's innuendos, but no way a guy who comes into his first preseason game as a rookie gets the start and plays so competently. And all Shedeur had to prove was that I belong in the NFL. And he proved that. Like, okay, so, dude, yes, you belong in the NFL. But the way he proved it was like, and you almost went undrafted? No. What is the real deal? But First Lady, the Browns, they're going to mess this up. They are going to mess this up. And the best thing that can happen is that some other team goes, you know what? We should have took Shedeur. And if we can make a deal, we would, we should have took Shedeur. And even if it was we got our starter, but we want to, really like plan for the future, and Shedeur should have been on their team. Now, the other thing is I go, I'm kind of looking at, there's some teams out there, but I'd say a weird team that it might just be a good move for them would be the Green Bay Packers. Because I got some questions about Mr. Love. That's what I'm saying, First Lady.
You got questions about Mr. Love, really? A lot of people have picked Green Bay to get the Packers have picked Green Bay to be in the NFC Championship. That's quite interesting. Well, anyway, the thing with Shedeur, he was the word I was using. It was blackballed. He was blackballed. That's what happened with Shedeur. And they just didn't choose this man, and it's a shame. But he's going to prove them wrong. And I really think that they will, like you said, he will be traded. I don't think he's going to get traded to the Packers, because that's not a good look for him either. He needs to go to a team that has an older quarterback. I have to look at what's going on with the Rams. The Rams seem to be in a little bit of trouble with Matthew Stafford. Hasn't thrown any football during the whole preseason or something like that. So I'm not sure who the backup is.
Stafford,
but that's a good place for Shedeur. That's an excellent place for him to go to. But anyway, this is going to be quite interesting. And, the one good thing, like you said, he was taught well by his father, and they said he's been a model citizen during the whole preseason and everything. And that was some of the issues that a lot of these people had about Shedeur. They just felt that he was cocky. Being cocky means he was just raised to be confident. He's very self-assured about himself. And so, don't fault him for that. But anyway, Spitface, over to you.
I'm just wondering, when did cocky and self-assured become a detriment in the NFL? In professional athletics? When did that become a negative? I want my quarterback to be mealy mouthed. Well, I think that I might be able to throw the ball. No, you want your quarterback going, look, you pick me, I'm going to kick ass.
Everybody thinks they're alpha. Everybody thinks they're the alpha, so I don't know.
Well, still, like I said, when did that start being a detriment? But I'll leave it alone. One day we will know what the real deal is. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my tears and putting suckers in tears. And the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go, but explosion overpowering over the competition. I'm towering. Wrecking job when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare. You better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest. Let it all get sliced and diced. Competition paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out. Mama said knock you out. We're talking about the knockout punch deal that landed Paramount exclusive broadcast rights to the UFC. Money, 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 money. Is Dana White about to upset the long understanding that Roger Goodell is the bad man when it comes to negotiating sports deals? That's a bad man. But has he been usurped by Dana White? The UFC, and just to add to it, the UFC will have the first ever match coming live on July 4th, 2026 on the Southern White House lawn. That's right. First Lady, it's the only problem. We can't get the president to enter the cage against the governor of California or an immigrant. Leroy Satchel Page, Walter, my man Buck Leonard, and my man James Cool Papa Bell. I ask him what you say. First Lady, now no disrespect to bad man Roger, but Roger, Dana White might have got you at the moment because that deal is like what, $7.7 billion. When Skydance merged with Paramount, it didn't cost $7.7 billion. So I'm like, Dana White, my man, big money daddy. Roger, your title is threatened. I gotta let this absorb in that Dana White has taken the UFC to this level in the world of money. And, I gotta give him kudos. And, Paramount, I'll put it like this. I wish I had some stock in Paramount because it has been rising since the merger with Skydance. And, UFC fans, this is definitely a statement on the strength, and entertainment value, being presented, and the quality. And, it's a statement of where it is today because it took some time. It was not a foregone conclusion that one day this is what the UFC would look like. So hats off, Dana White, and you might have that bad man title. I got to think about it. First Lady, what you say?
This was an epic contract. UFC coming to Paramount was very epic, but normally it would not have been a big deal, Spitface, because sports entities change media alliances all the time. I mean, look what happened to TNT with basketball. It was all about who offers the money. Like you said, money, money, money. However, this particular UFC contract is monumental because it's an exclusive United States broadcasting right for all UFC events, like you said, for 7 years. And it starts in 2026. But more importantly, the major significance of this contract is that pay-per-view model is eliminated. That's the first time I can say in the history of any boxing match, boxing event, UFC event, you always had pay-per-view. But that's the significance of this deal. I mean, Paramount they have the full exclusive rights. And 2026 is the year of the streaming platforms when it comes to sports. The NFL was first to branch out, followed by the NBA, now UFC. I mean, Major League Baseball is always last to the party. I don't know when they're going to go on some of these streaming networks, but they haven't, to my knowledge. I don't think they have. So, in reference to Dana White, unfortunately, he'll never be able to compete with Roger Goodell because, like cash is king, the NFL is king in the United States when it comes to sports. So, but it's a very, very lucrative deal for UFC. Like you said, 7-something per the 7 years. That averages out to $1.1 billion per year to the UFC for the rights to broadcast the event. Now, the question is, and hopefully Dana White will now pay his players significant raises because we all know he's been accused of underpaying his boxers. There should be no excuse making $1.1 billion a year for 7 years. Come on, Dana White. You got to make sure your boxers see some of that money that you are receiving. So it'll be, it's a good time to be in the UFC when it comes to being boxers because I'm quite sure they all saw those dollars and they probably saw them dollars in their eyes. They say ching, ching, ching. So they're gonna put Dana White to test to see what type of monies now that these fighters are going to start making. But it's a definitely monumental contract. Just the fact to eliminate pay-per-view in the UFC, that is, to me, that's huge. So we'll see if boxing follows suit. You got the different boxing, factions, like you got, WFC. You know what? Boston is so split right now. I even forgot who's who. But anyway, we don't know who's who, but IBF different. You got they live on pay-per-view model, so we'll see what they do. But anyway, ESPN lost the contract, and obviously ESPN knew they was losing the contract. That's why they that's why they set up that contract to take over the NFL Network and Red Zone from the NFL. So these companies are making money. All right, Spitface. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I may not call him Dana White the bad, because like I said, Roger Goodell got some resources. But I might have to call him the Don King if he don't pay his athletes good. First Lady, you have the last word. Please take us to break.
Stay tuned. Up next, we have a performance from Derange the Messiah on Shout Out Part 1.
And what do we do? Oh, the music flows in from around the globe to get a shout out for the panel. First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from Derange the Messiah. I think you had me Derange at the beginning.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. On the first part of the shout out, we are featuring music from Derange the Messiah out of Lansing, Michigan. and his hit album, Pandemic. All right, DJ, let's hear Show You.
Let me show you what I'm about. Let me show you what I'm about. Let me show you what I'm about. I can take you shopping, cause I got deep pockets. Mommy, anything you want, you can have it. Get with me and I can make it happen. I have expensive habits. Block boy who love living lavish. New whips and old school classics. About to buy a mansion in the Castle Out Palace. I don't care about the balance, cause I get royalty checks off my talent. Let me show you what I'm about. Let me show you what I'm about. Let me show you what I'm about. I can take you shopping, cause I got deep pockets. Let me show you what I'm about. Let me show you what I'm about. Let me show you what I'm about. I can take you shopping, cause I got deep pockets. I'll go out the way for you, sweetie. I'll be there if you need me. If you need me, I'm on the share, I'm not greedy. Nope, I'm on top, cause the money coming in so speedy. You can ride with me, just don't be too clingy. Please. You can ride with me, just don't be too clingy. Let me show you what I'm about. Let me show you what I'm about. Let me show you what I'm about. I can take you shopping, cause I got deep pockets. Let me show you what I'm about. Let me show you what I'm about. Let me show you what I'm about. I can take you shopping, cause I got deep pockets.
Okay, that's what he wanted to show me. Show me, wow, all right. All right, Spitface. Spitface, you know, I don't mind rap music, but you got to be more of a lyricist than what you just showed me, Derange the Messiah. I need some more lyrics to that rap thing, and I am not going to, I'm going to hit the mute. I'm sorry, I have to hit the mute on this. It just, all I heard was let me show me. All right. You didn't show me too much, unfortunately, Derange the Messiah. I can't follow you. You are saying you're the Messiah, but I'm sorry, I can't follow you with this song. I will see. All right, I'm hitting the mute button. What are you doing?
Yeah. First Lady, there's different things that could be unpacked. And usually we don't get this opportunity on the shout out segment. First off, gentlemen. If for you to have a relationship with a woman you find attractive, your appeal is how much money you can spend on her, we call that weak. Call that real weak. Because basically you saying that she a hoe and you got the money. So I'm going to say it that bluntly. What you're saying is, oh, you a hoe. It's just what the money is. So you weak. Weak. That does not mean that a woman you find attractive, may not enjoy that. Well, let's go out and you take her to a nice place. And maybe you at that nice place and, y'all can have a picture or something taken together and that's another $25. But you, hey, you know, cause you're trying to make the evening nice, romantic and memorable. as opposed to, well, I can go buy you XYZ. Oh, because any hoe would accept that. So weak. So what you have shown us is that you're weak. So you want to think about that. And if that's the women you choose to be with, then that's weak too. So you just double weak. Now, I don't get no women following either, First Lady. I don't get no, and I'm going, if there are men who are following this, y'all must be awfully lonely. Y'all must be really, really lonely. And what I recommend is what a friend used to tell me, when he get lonely, he'd go to the zoo. He'd go to the zoo when he was lonely. And he'd go to the zoo, and he'd go and find the pink-bootied orangutan, because that always gave him a smile. So, you need to go to the zoo. And I'm hitting the mute button. That's all I'm saying, First Lady. Sad.
Okay, well, at least you got all that out, them lyrics. Okay. I don't know. I didn't get too much out of it. But anyway, I'm talking to a shout out. We will be featuring another performance by Derange the Messiah. Is that the sound of our favorite underwater friend? Is it time for Flip It, who's probably deranged by listening to that song? But anyway, it's time for Flip It. No one is see. It's water that deep. And we remember missing a world of wonder. Lying there on the under the sea.
Time for Flip It. And First Lady Flip It wanted to make sure that we knew that he is not deranged. Neither is he a Messiah. So you say, throw me another tune. All right, where our hosts defend a point and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. The NFL regular season is a few weeks away. We wonder, once the season is over, who will have disappointed their fans the most? The Cowboys or the Bears? So we defend. The Bears play in the rough and tough NFC North. Expectations are high. Win or lose, Cowboy fans will make excuses, and they are used to it. First Lady, I don't even know if Cowboy fans really do get upset anymore. Each year they come back rabid as can be. But last year Caleb Williams threw for over 4,000 yards. That, as a rookie, and if he had been on a team, let's say like the Commanders, you could only imagine what he would have done. Of course, the Commanders had their own superstar rookie, but you look at if Caleb Williams had been on the Commanders, just all that, even one that whoever landed on the Commanders, was going to be in the playoffs. Whoever landed on the Bears was going to be pretty much where the Bears ended up. And, Cowboy fans are kind of, whatever the Cowboys do, the Cowboy fans, they're going to be wherever they be at, they ain't won nothing in since the triplets was around. So, hey, but the Bears, see, they got that taste of that hope, last year. And they did have a sucky poo coach. The Bears had a sucky poo coach. So, it was kind of, things kind of went the way things went. And it just so happened that 3 of the teams in the NFC North went to the playoffs. So, it was so there, but the Bear fans are really and I'm looking at all the commentators and prognosticators and all of that, and so many of them are predicting the Bears to win the division. So the fans then got hyped up, and when the season is over with, there's going to be that fan who's going to write to the Bears and say, "Dear Bears, when I pass away, can a couple of your players come and for the funeral so that y'all can let me down one more time?" First Lady, please defend. Bear fans will be more disappointed than Cowboy fans.
I mean, the Bears fans have suffered for 5 years not making it to the playoffs. The last time they would in the playoffs, it was 2020 when they had, they got the wild card team with an 8-8 record, and they lost to the New Orleans Saints in the wild card game. Now, the fan base has so much hope in Caleb Williams and their new head coach, Ben Johnson, that they expect this team to make it to the playoffs. The offense should show major improvements. I mean, Ben Johnson, he believes in being creative. He does like a multifaceted approach. He emphasizes on running the ball effectively and using play action, So Caleb Williams should be a breakout star in Ben Johnson's new design offense. But because of that, the fans are so convinced that they will make it to the playoffs. But they forget, Spitface, they're in the NFC North, and they are last team in that division. You got too many teams ahead of them. I mean, you got the Lions, you got the Packers, and you got Minnesota. All of those teams made it to the playoffs last season. So why do the Bears think that they're going to make it to the playoffs? The reason why, because they are so hyped on Ben Johnson, basically unleashing Caleb Williams. But that's where this disappointment is going to come in. I mean, they are going to be so disappointed because of the hype that they have built regarding the addition of Ben Johnson to unleash Caleb Williams. And they in previous years, they've never been disappointed because they knew they weren't going to be doing anything. But when you have serious expectations, that's when you become disappointed, when those expectations do not come to fruition. And this is what's going to happen with the Chicago Bears. They're going to be, again, in last place in their division, and they're not going to make it to the playoffs.
All right, First Lady. The Bear fans are being set up for a letdown. All right, we're going to flip it. Bear fans are simply happy if they can do better than last season. Expectations for the Cowboys are extremely high. Anything less than a Super Bowl win will disappoint. First Lady, there is, I know some Raider fans, and they were Raider fans when they were in Oakland. They were Raider fans when they were in L.A. They were Raider fans when they moved back to Oakland. They were Raider fans. They're Raider fans today, and then, where they at? In Vegas. In Las Vegas. I had to, look at a map. Where the hell did they go to this time? So, the wandering Raider fans. And there was a period where there was what I would call the rabid Raider fan. And there became a point, maybe the breaking point, where the rabid Raider fans diminished. And they have there are Raider fans, Raider Nation, they down with the Raiders, but that rabid part just ain't there. And see, that's how Bear fans are. Bear fans, most Bear fans are from Chicagoland. And Chicagoland is used to teams like the Cubs, the White Sox. Their disappointment is, kind of rolls off. I don't even know if a Bear fan can be disappointed. Not really, because all Bear, well, I didn't do anything anyway. Bear fans Caleb Williams threw for 4,000 yards. You go to a Bear fan, he go, man, Caleb Williams, he was kicking butt last year. Man, I don't know, he might be all right. He might be all right. I mean, they are skeptical. And, so it's like, the blue collar town really is I don't care what you did. I ain't getting all that hype. Prove it to me. Then I will. So, if the Bears have a winning season, Bear fans will be ecstatic. The Cowboy fans, Cowboys can't just make the playoffs. They got to win in the playoffs. And then if they win in the playoffs, they got to get to the Super Bowl. And if they get to the Super Bowl, they got to win the Super Bowl. So that is it. The Cowboy fans are disappointed if they do not win the Super Bowl. They are not happy. They are disappointed if they make the playoffs. They're disappointed if they have the best record. They're disappointed if the Cowboys don't win every game, go undefeated, and win the Super Bowl. And so they are beyond rabid. See, Cowboy fans are beyond rabid. Cowboy fans are in the twilight zone. They are in the twilight zone. It is a never ending. And the twilight zone, because you got to be in the twilight zone that you don't pay Micah Parsons. You got to be in the twilight zone that every star, you cannot sign any, you can't go, well, you know what, next season, see, we're going to have to do, well, let's get the deal done early. Like some of the other teams like Kansas City, look, we're going to pay this. Let's get these people roped in, before we got to have all this drama. No. The twilight zone. So, you have a rabid fan base that the only way they're not dramatically disappointed is if you don't win the Super, you got to win the Super Bowl. Anything else, anything else is not that it's unacceptable, but being in the twilight zone, is a huge disappointment. Now, Cowboy fans, I'll just say that, I'll just say y'all are where y'all are, but I really want to say Buffalo fans. All right, Buffalo fans. Don't don't start behaving like those Cowboy fans. Don't be a twilight zone because, until Patrick Mahomes starts slipping, it's going to be tough for your team to make it there. That's all I'm saying, First Lady. First Lady, please defend Cowboy fans who will be more disappointed at the end of the season.
Even though the Cowboy fans are always disappointed, they are also still delusional, thinking that their team will go to the Super Bowl every year. I mean, this is why they are so disappointed every year. They built up all of these expectations in their weak minds, thinking they have what it takes to make it to the Super Bowl, when they know they're not making it to the Super Bowl. I mean, they barely had a chance to be in the playoffs, and they didn't make it to the playoffs last year. So, again, these are built-up expectations. Every year they go through this same scenario in their minds. Dak Prescott is going to lead them to a playoff win to get to the NFC Conference Finals, then to the Super Bowl. This is their MO. I mean, for years, this is what has been happening. It's been, I don't remember the exact, it's been over 25 years, I believe, since they even made it to a conference finals. It's been so long. But yet, every year, it's the same old, same old. They think they're going to win. And the sad part about it is even the team, players on the team think they're going to win. So it's all of Dallas Nation. Even the fans, I mean, the players are the same way too. You should hear them talking to the press. We wanted what it takes to get to the Super Bowl. No, you've never had what it takes to get to the Super Bowl. And now the fact that you don't want to pay one of your best players, how do you think you're going to get to the Super Bowl? Because he may not even be playing. So, it's just every year, it's American team. I don't know why they're American team, because everybody does like to root for the Cowboys. I mean, at one point in my life, I was a Cowboys fan myself. But that was a long, 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 long time ago. Long time ago. So, I mean, they just like to disappoint their fans. I mean, that the team just does not have what it takes to get to the Super Bowl. And the fans believe in them so much. Like you said, they're rabid fans. And they make you sick. As Stephen A. Smith always says on ESPN, the Cowboys fans are the most disgusting, nauseating fan base in American history. Kudos to Stephen A. Smith, because he's 100% right. That's all I'm saying, Spitface.
All right. First lady, on that note, over to you for more flipping.
We wonder who will have a better season rushing the ball, Saquon or Derek? Spitface defend. The Ravens have figured out. Let the tank run over people. He will have more opportunities to rush the ball than Saquon.
Well, first lady, I'm looking at Derrick Henry, and I'm like, I am so glad I don't play middle linebacker. Because if somebody that big come running at me, I'm moving. Like, no, man, you just go on. I ain't trying to stop you. Your big self. And I'll just say that part of what I look at is it's not a Derrick Henry versus Saquon. It's a how do defenses prepare for the Ravens and how defenses prepare for the Eagles. And when one of the things that I think the Ravens, which may give them the edge over the Bills, being able to defeat the Chiefs, is that Henry showed them the run will work. So they weren't opposed to that. I think what they're going to look at is that, where we would say, Lamar, take that run option, they're going to start going, no, go ahead and give it to the tank. Because the more times he gets that ball in his hand, the more he starts wearing that defense down. So with Lamar running less, Tank will have more opportunities to run over people, and he don't look like he done lost anybody's kind of steps. So, Saquon with the Eagles, the Eagles are Saquon did his thing. But I think they're going to get Saquon out in space a little bit more. They like having the ball in his hand. So, I think that Saquon's rushing yards may go down, but his passing yards are going to go up, maybe even his TDs. That's what I'm saying, First Lady.
All right. So you think with Lamar running the ball less, that leaves more time for Derrick Henry. Yeah, that's true. Derrick Henry, he is a demolition man. He just runs over people. And his level of running the ball really has been the key for Baltimore's success. The Ravens last year, the Ravens were 8-1 when Derrick Henry carried the ball 15 or more times. And they were 0-3 when he didn't. That was last year. So that just shows you why giving him the ball is basically the route for them to be successful. I mean, it's the numbers speak volume of how the Ravens have to play. And, at 31 years old, he's showing no signs of aging. He allows Lamar Jackson's job to be a lot easier when Derrick Henry runs the ball. Because, most defenses are not concerned about Lamar's passing. They're more concerned about Derrick Henry's running. But because they're more concerned about Derrick Henry running, that allows Lamar to be a better passer. So that's the key, So that's why I really think Derrick Henry is going to have more yards than Saquon because of the fact that he just runs the ball a lot more. Like you said, Saquon also does passing. He also receives a lot of passing from Jalen Hurts. Now, it's interesting. Jalen Hurts doesn't run the ball as much as Lamar does. But the Eagles basically do a lot of quick passes to set up the running game with Saquon. I think that's basically how they do it, whereas the Ravens use Derrick Henry to set up Lamar's passing. So it's just that, Derrick Henry's going to have a heavy workload. And, it's just, to me, Saquon had a fantastic year last year, and Henry had a great year too, but Saquon's year was extraordinary. So, but Henry is the key to that Ravens offense. And with him running that ball, it just makes Lamar Jackson so much better as a passer. I don't see them changing anything. And I just think that the Ravens running game with Derrick Henry is going to have more yards than Saquon. All right. But, this is flip it. So let's flip it. Saquon is playing on a team a little more dangerous than the Ravens. He will have more opportunities to run rampant and do it. Spitface defense. Saquon will have more rushing yards than Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Well, as you said earlier, First Lady, Saquon is used in more ways. And those short passes to him open up he's virtually setting himself up for the run. His receiving allows the run to be set up, which is pretty good. You setting your own self up to win. And while Derrick Henry is probably going to have more touches, I think that Saquon will end up having more yards per touch. And, both of them, will have their times in the games where they'll break a long one. But Saquon, with less touches, will have more of those, breakout runs, than Derrick Henry will have over the season. So it's going to be tight. Either one of them, could end up, with the rushing championship for the year. Either Saquon or Derrick. It could go either way. But I think that Saquon just has that slight edge because, one, he's setting his own self up for the run. And then the other thing is, Derrick Henry is the bruiser. And Saquon is the speedy guy. But not only is he speedy, he's quick. He's quick, so he's not getting hit like Derrick Henry. He gets hit, but then he kind of reminds me of Walter Payton back in the day which is like, oh yeah, you gonna tackle me? Well, I'm gonna tackle you, and then, like, bam, okay, all right, we go both. And so he reminds me of that. Now, Derrick Henry kind of reminds me of Earl Campbell, and just give me the ball. I'm gonna run you, or I'm gonna run over you, and then go do it, So he kind of going back to those days. But I think that the combination of the fact that that how many times the ball is going to end up in Saquon Barkley's hands just opens up his run, just opens it up, and allows him to have more of those big gainers than Derrick Henry. That's what I'm saying, First Lady.
Yeah, Spitface, I totally agree with you on that. Derrick Henry is used a lot, and he's really used a lot in the red zone area. He gets a lot of touchdowns, especially when they get in the red zone, whereas Saquon is really not used in that capacity. Henry, he had 13 red zone touchdowns last year, so his biggest impact is when he's inside the 20-yard line. Now, Saquon, as you indicated, is completely different. He usually has long breakaways, but his breakaways are mainly when they're in the mid part of the field, because of the fact that, like you said, they always will pass to him in order for his, he's a great receiver, except for that one play he messed up last year, but it didn't matter because they won the Super Bowl. But Saquon is a great receiver, which allows him to be a fantastic runner. And yes, he's still a workhorse though too, Spitface. He's still a workhorse. He gets a lot of touches last year. I don't know what they plan to use him this year, but Saquon had a lot of touches. He had what they said in 2022 he had 295 touches. But prior to that, he was on pace. He was almost going to be paced to have 344 carries. So he gets a lot of touches, and just as much as Derrick Henry. The thing is, they're used completely different. Like I said, Derrick Henry is used a lot in the red zone. That's why he gets a lot of touches. Saquon is he opens up a lot. He breaks some holes, and he's able to get long yardage gains. And like you said, that's the reason why he will have more yard gains than Derrick Henry. And because he is receiving a lot more passes too, like you said, that explains why he's able to get open with his rushing, because they scared he might catch he might be a receiver. So he's a multi-faceted type of running back. So, but he definitely has more big gains than Derrick Henry does. And him having them big gains, I mean, this makes Jalen Hurts a much better quarterback too, because both of the running backs basically complement their quarterbacks, and both of the running backs make both of the quarterbacks much better, because both of those quarterbacks are not known for their passing. So it's interesting how they kind of parallel each other. But I think that Saquon definitely will have more yards because he's a big gainer, and they use him a lot more, in the middle part of the field versus in the end zone. So I think Henry, because he's so big, he can bust those tackles to get into to get a touchdown. Whereas Saquon is smaller in stature. So that's why he's like you said, he's a lot faster than Derrick Henry, and that's why he has a lot of breaks gain a lot of yards in the middle part of the field. So both of them are great running backs. I mean, Saquon just signed that one of the largest contracts for a running back because, they weren't paying running backs at all. It was a dying position. I felt sorry for a lot of the running backs, but Saquon definitely deserved all the money he got because I believe that if he were not on that team, the Eagles would not have won a Super Bowl. All right, Spitface, please take us to break.
Okay, on the other side of the break, we have another performance from Derange, the Messiah, on Shout Out Part 2. Please keep your ears glued to those speakers. We promise we'll be back.
Welcome back. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout out from the crew. Spitface, over to you.
All right, First Lady. On the second part of shout out, we are featuring more music from Derange, the Messiah. Me and First Lady's got our fingers crossed. Brother, we do not want to mute you twice now. Come on, break through. All right, DJ, let's hear Paranoia.
Government out to destroy us. Paranoia. If you black and brown, don't take it to trial unless you have a paid lawyer. They constantly put us in prison clothes. They transport us up north on different bus slows. Other alternatives to slave ships. Modern day slavery, man. I hate this shit. They designed the system when we make their tips. Now they don't give a damn about us. All they want is money, labor, and blood out of us. Paranoia. Am I wrong for thinking the government out to destroy us? Paranoia. If you black and brown, don't take it to trial unless you have a paid lawyer. Souls leaving bodies for baggies. Media and a label can't stand me. Neither can they ban me. The streets understand me. Police is watching. Niggas is blocking. Book smart bitches is bopping. Politicians is plotting. New world order. Opiates debauching the border. Trump supporter. U.S. federal worker unemployed. To the point I can't ignore you. Paranoia. Real fucking paranoia. Am I wrong for thinking the government out to destroy us? Paranoia. If you black and brown, don't take it to trial unless you have a paid lawyer.
All right. Paranoia. First Lady, I am hitting the mute button on Paranoia. And I'm not going to do a whole lot of unpacking on it. I'm just going to hit the mute button. But what I tried to imagine was the music wasn't there. And I was just listening to the rapper. And a lot of tracks, that's what I do. Is I try to tune out the music, and so I can kind of like what is this person saying and how are they doing it? And it seems like there's a lot of work to be done. So there's just a lot of work to be done. I'm hitting the mute button. First Lady, what's the verdict?
Well, that was the whole problem. I couldn't get past the music. The music didn't seem to go with the rap. The music was very deranged. Like I just didn't like the way the music flowed with the track. So yeah, I'm gonna hit the mute button. I really tried to support and give a thumbs up for Derange, the Messiah. But like you said, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And, maybe some of his other songs might be better, but those two are not good example of Derange, the Messiah's work. So, brother, keep working. Keep on it. Don't give up. Keep working.
Okay. Now, it don't matter what we like, that we may hit the mute button, but if you like what you heard from the Derange, the Messiah, check him out on the Old Grumpy Radio Network. If you would like to be heard or have any comments, please send your emails and tracks to talent@oldgrumpyradio.com.
All right.
No, yeah, talent@oldgrumpy. Yeah, I got that right.
All right, Spitface, what is your top story to watch this week?
First Lady, you referenced this when we were discussing Shedeur Sanders, Matt Stafford, and his back injury. And, Matt is not a spring chicken. And he was kind of banged up last season. They did end up making it, right, yeah, they did end up making it to the playoffs. But I think as much as they love Matt Stafford, if they can get Shedeur Sanders, that might make it. They might need somebody. But that's my top story. Watching out for how Matt Stafford's back is going to impact the Rams, and if because of that, could there be a move for Shedeur going to LA? So that's what I'm watching out for.
Well, I just looked at the Rams depth chart. They got Jimmy Garoppolo. We know he ain't the right person. Then he's number 2. Third on their list is a Stetson Bennett the fourth. I remember him. I think he's been in the league for a little bit. And then Dresser Wynn. So that is an outstanding place for Shedeur Sanders to go to. But anyway, my top story to watch this week, and I think it's going to be coming out either today, is the NBA schedule. They've been leaked. Several of them have already been leaked, but the full schedules are coming out today. So I'm an NBA person. I love the NBA more than I do the NFL. So I am so psyched to see what my next schedule is going to look like, because I got to see when they're going to be playing the Lakers, because I want to go see my Knicks play the Lakers in LA. That's what I'm going to have to do this year, because we know that LeBron may not be playing next year. I don't know. He probably will be, but he definitely won't be with the Lakers next year. I can tell you that much. So would definitely like to see the Lakers. So I'm looking forward to the NBA schedule coming out this week. Yes, indeed. All right. Check out our current and previous episodes at Bras, Panties and Sports.com. This is Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk, and Spitface. You have been listening to Bras, Panties and Sports. See you next week.